So good evening to everybody. Welcome to the today class of the International Human Rights Law. And I posted something on the screen. Can anyone unmute and read what I posted on the screen? Participants, you can unmute and read what I posted on the screen. I think it is visible to you. Is it visible to you? Participants, please read what I posted on the screen. Okay, let me read myself. Yes, I posted this thing on the screen. That is, good evening to the International Human Rights Law students. What is the relationship between the international law and international politics? Why I am dealing this this topic is, if you happen to see your syllabus and you will come across, yes, this is the syllabus and you might see 2.6. What the 2.6 says? Here the syllabus again I am showing. Syllabus is, where is the syllabus has gone? In the syllabus, the last unit is, okay, I will open it again, the syllabus, then so that you could see it. Yes, international, where is international? Yes, it is here. So if you happen to see the syllabus here, 2.6, problem of applicability of international law and international politics and their impact on human rights. So international law and international politics, what are the impact on the human rights? And that is why that today we are going to deal this thing. So now let us see that what is the relationship between international law and international politics. International law is closely related to the international relations because international law is a system of rules. I repeat, because international law is a system of rules, principles, and concepts regulating relations between the countries. So that is the reason. And international organizations between the countries, international organizations, individuals, and other actors in the world politics, including the NGOs also. So the international law plays an important role in the international politics. Professor Dr. Mohammed Saheb Hussain. Now let us see that what exactly the thing is. And I don't think that you could read it because its letters are very small, and hence I myself only read it. What is, where it is gone? It is gone unnecessarily. Okay. Okay, let me trace it out. Doesn't matter because I already saved it. International, in that one I saved it. Okay, I will get it back again. Where it is gone, international. Okay, let me scroll it. International law and international relationship. Yes, it is the thing. Yeah, I will get it back again. Yes, because I saved the copy, then open, because let me minimize it. This also minimize it. This also minimize it. Then I see where it is gone. Return to the meeting, and we have to open the, yes, we have to open the Google search engine, then only we'll get it. Let me close this one also. Yes, Google search engine, we opened it. Yes, then we can paste it. We'll get back the same thing. Paste. Oh, this is the criminal procedure code along with the title. Why it is come? Just a minute. International, yes. And HTTP. This should be copied. It is not copied properly. That is the reason that it is making the headache to me. Yes, copy properly. Yes. Now open the Google search engine. Then you paste there, paste, and enter. Yes. International law and international relationship. Yeah, this is the thing where we want to make it out. Yes, we got it. Finally, we got it. Now let me read because it's a very small letters and you could not read it well. Okay, let me see the abstract. What is there? It is one of the article written by the Malaysian, Indonesia, from the Indonesia, not Indonesia, Malaysia. Abstract, some science subject is a interconnected between one science and another. So science subject is interconnected between one science and another. One of them is international law, and the international law is closely related to the international relations. So international law is closely related to the international relations because international law is a system of rules, principles, and concepts regulating the relationship between the countries, international organizations, individuals, and other actors in the world politics. A relation between international actors are the subject of international relations. So international is nothing but having a relation with the international relations, and international is a system of rules, and it is the principles and concepts regulating the relations between the countries, among the countries, international organizations, and individuals and other actors in the world politics. A relationship between the international actor or the subject of the international relations. So, to understand, a student or the international law expert must be able to understand the science of the international relations. Now, let us see what is the science of the international relations. So, one should have to have the knowledge of the international relations. And the state is also a major actor in international relation. So, state also plays an important role in the international relations by following the international rights which are given in the charter. The state behavior, relations between the countries, and the national interests of a country are also the focus of international relations science, so that both of them synergize with each other. And the main objective of the international law is to, what is the main objective of the international law? It is to aim at creating order rather than simply creating a just system of international relations. It is creating an order, not merely just creating a system of international relations. In further development, the objective of the international law includes effort to effort to objectively guarantee the justice between the states. So, what are the all the effort would be there? Liberty, justice, peace, security. These are the important factors, and on this, the international relations and the international law and the human rights revolve around it. It is evidenced by the establishment of the Permanent Court of International Justice, which later changed in name to the International Court of Justice. In the beginning, the name of it is Permanent Court of International Justice, but later on it changed the name to the International Court of Justice. Can anyone unmute and say that where is the International Court of Justice situated? Participants, are you present? It is in The Hague, Netherlands, which later changed its name to International Court of Justice, which is a judicial court established to resolve the international courts, yes, objective of the international includes, where is it gone? Yes. The international law includes effort to objectively guarantee the justice between the states. But we read it, what is the resolving here? Yes, the international law includes efforts to objectively guarantee the justice between the states. It is evidenced by the establishment of the Permanent Court of International Justice, I am repeating, which is later changed the name to the International Court of Justice, which is there in The Hague, Netherlands, which is a judicial court established to resolve the dispute between the countries. Whatever the disputes would be there, the countries, it will resolve it and provide advisory opinions according to the international law. So it will resolve the issues. If any human rights violations are there, either the state will approach to the International Court of Justice because the state is a member of the UN. And the International Court of Justice is the one of the organ of the UN. and which is only one organ, which is not in the New York, it is in the Hague, Netherlands. So this is the abstract which I want to make it out. Now let us see what is the full length of the paper that he did it. And it is the international law and international relations role and relationship. And this is the person I should be very much thankful to the Purvan Ditto Dafa Saputra, and he is the Faculty of Law, Universities of Muhammadiyah and Yognakarta, Jalan Ring Road, Bharat, and Bastu, it is Indonesia. Of course, he has given his email ID also. I should have to say thanks to him because I am using his article to explain you the international relationship, how the impact in the human rights. So here the keywords are international law, international relations, and diplomacy. And let us say the introduction. Generally, that we don't write the introduction with the capital A. We use always the Roman capital numbers. But anyway, it is his style, and we don't say because their rules and regulation like that, I think, to keep the numbering of the side heading by capital A. So now introduction is international relations or relations between the nations is a human interaction between the nations, both individually and a group, which is carried out directly or indirectly. So international relations what? Are relations between the what? Nations is a human interaction between the nations, both individually, nation to nation, a nation to individually, individually to the nation, and in a group which is carried out directly or indirectly. So that is the relations. International relations can be take the form of friendship. The different form of the international relationship is the form of friendship, dispute, hostility, or war. So these are the things where it conflict will come. The dispute will arises. School of thought varies. The individual thinking varies, and their school of thought also varies. As I said, you the individual varies means school of thought varies, and the dispute arises over there, and hostility will be widened, and later on it leads to the war or some unruly mob disturbance. And the international law is the part of law that regulates the activities of the international entities. So international law is a part of law because there is a charters, there is a treaties, protocols, and declarations, which in the form of sections, or we don't say sections generally, international instrument, we will say articles, sub-articles, and where the member state should have to follow it. If any state will violate it, an action will be taken against the state by the UN, or if the dispute would be there, human rights, then we can file a case in the International Court of Justice, The Hague, Netherlands. International law is the part of the law that regulates the activities of international entities. Here the international entities in the sense it is the state, individuals or groups, or state to individual, individual to state. And initially, international law was only defined as behavior and relationship between the states. In the beginning, it say only the behavior and the relation between the states are there. But however, in the development of an increasingly widespread pattern of the international relations, international law also takes care of the structure and the behavior of the international organization. It's not only the behavior and the relation, it will go through it and they will depend on the structure and the behavior of the international organizations, how they are. Individuals, they will see the individuals and multinational companies. Even the entities like the multinational companies, if they are violating any human rights, violations are there, not following the norms which are stipulated in the international instruments by the multinational companies. International law is the law between the nations. Yes, it is clear, and which is used to show the customs and rule of that apply in the relations between the rulers, and shows the complex rules and principles governing the relationship between the members of the community of nation. So international law also included their customary rules also, and the customs and religious feelings. Yes, some of them is incorporated in the international instruments, and because of this humanity, relationship would be continued when such a things are there. And the rulers and shows the complex rules. There are complex rules are there because the individuals customs may be vary from one country to another country, because all the country custom cannot be incorporated in the international instrument. Somewhere they may deviate it. I mean, they will not make them, they will harmonize it mostly, and the mostly countries which follow the customs, and that will be incorporated in the international instruments. Are the principles governing the relationship between the members of the community of nations. Here, the community of the nations means the community means the states of the nations are the subjects of the nation, the people of the nations, and individuals, or group, or institution, or multinational companies belong to or incorporated in particular nations. Without a unique governing and enforcing entity, Without a unique governing and enforcing entity, international law is largely a voluntary endeavor. Their one point is very much clear. The international law is generally, we will say, the weak law, because its enforcing machinery is a bit weak. It cannot be made except like the UN interference would be there, and then economic sanctions, and the ban on the transportation, and if the need is there, they will send the US peacekeeping force to see that it will be normalized. So it is the international law is a largely a voluntary endeavor. It is a intergovernmental. It is intergovernmental with one nation to the another nation, one state to the another state. They should have to make a compromise in some places and see that justice will be prevail, and social security would be there, and the freedom would be there, would not be curtailed, and the peace will be maintained, so that there would not be any abuse of the human rights would be there. Where enforcement power exists only if the parties agree to abide by the treaty. So enforcement will come at the time only when the state parties, those who are the signatories, those who are ratified it, those who are the member of the treaty, multinational treaty, or the charter, or the any other thing, if they abide themselves to follow it, then only it will be a strong law. Otherwise, it would be said to be the weak law. But international law includes the international human rights also. It is where international rights comes to the into being. It tries to explain the behavior that occurs across the national borders. See, a man attitude will be various. If a man is a pious man and a spiritual man, there is no necessity of the police, there is no necessity of the defense also. If everyone sweeps in their front or backward on the side, naturally the entire village is clean, and there will not be any municipality to clean the village. Yes, but man attitude varies, because every man having a different nature, behavior, attitude in the society, and every man is having some propensity of criminal nature, and some of them having the more in propensity of the criminal behavior, and they will become a hardcore criminals. But some people, they will they will they will suppress the criminal propensity, and they will become a good Samaritans, a good people and good citizen in the nation. So here what I want to say is, it depends upon the attitude, behavior, and the propensity of the criminal nature of a human being. So the broader relationship to which the behavior is a part. So behavior is one of the important role, a part, and the institutions. If you come to the matter of the institutions, may either a private or state or non-governmental and intergovernmental also, and that oversees these interactions. So the state should have to take the behavior of the people, and that plays an important role in the international relationship. Uh, Otherwise, there would be a what I say curb or violation of the human rights are there. Human rights will occur. if the behavior will be varies and become a fanatic, and there is a violation would be there. Explanation can also be found in the relationship between and among. Between means two, among means many. Participants in intergovernmental arrangements between the countries. So intergovernmental arrangement would be there for evading the charters, the treaty conditions. It is the activities of the multinational companies or in the distribution of the power and control in the world as a single system. So multinational company also abide the rules and regulations over there where they are incorporated their companies in the state or in the countries, because they will try to make the abuse more, especially a richer become a richer and a poorer become a poor. The developed countries become more developed countries, and the underdeveloped still in the lingering state of the underdeveloped line only. So that is what I want to say. And the international law aims to regulate common issues that are important in relations between the subjects of international law, such as regulating relations or issues that cross state boundaries between the state and state. I repeat, international law aims. What is the aim of the international law? It is to regulate the common issues and a common platform, bring the common platform for the what? For the security and peace and healthiness in the planet Earth, on the planet Earth, that are important in relation between the subjects. And here subjects of what? International law means the members of the international community. And such as the regulating the relations, and they have to maintain the good relations and issues that because the cross state boundaries are there between the state and state, because it is the international is a cross boundary course, and hence the state mostly the cross boundary means almost all the norms are the same in any state, and that is the cross boundary international law. States and other legal subjects which are not state are non-state subject of each other. So state subject or non-state subject, in the all the means the international violation should not be there. So that's what I want to convey the idea to you. Yes, formulation of the problem. What is the formulation of the problem? Let me see it. I don't know the participant. Yes, can you unmute and read? Apana. Let me see the B, formulation of the problem. What is the problem would be there and how the problem will be resolved. From what has been described above, the following question arises. How the concept of international law is the perspective of the international relations, and how is the relationship between the international law and international relations. And this is the formulation of the question. And we will see the analysis and discussion in the C. And there will come across 2.1, the concept of international law. What is the concept of international law? International law is a set of legal rules, yes, bundle of rules governing the relation between the states, yes, or among the states, or between the individuals, even the individuals within an international framework. Within the framework of the international, it is the rules governing the relation between the state to state or state to the individual or individual to the multinational companies, which is the international framework, it will be there. The norms of the international are composed of text ratified by the several states. So the norms of the international law, as they say, whatever the articles are there, that will be ratified by the several states, those who are the member of the treaty. International treaties are the conventions or protocols and treaties. Either they are international conventions, or it is a international treaties, or it is a protocols and treaties, and where the state are the members of the treaty and they have to abide it, and there would be a inter relationship between the states, and one state should have to abide the norms of the international framework. They can be bilateral. If the two countries are there, we can say bi means two. Bilateral between the two countries, or multilateral means many. multilateral between the several countries joined over there. States, parties pledged to apply these standards in their territories. Whatever the norms are there in the international framework, when they are the member of the treaty, and they have to see that the treaty norms, rules, regulations, provisions, article should be domesticated in their own country, in their own territories. Only if there is a trade-off by providing them with a level higher than their national standards. So if the national standards of the law is a bit low, but we have to see that a international standard should be come over there. The international provisions and the article should be incorporated, and the municipal law should be domesticated as not on the par with the as it is there said in the treaties, or we can say on par with the treaties also. So this is the concept of the international law. Now let us come to the what is the public international law? And the public international law mainly concerns the rights and obligation of the states toward another. One state to another state is a public international law. Therefore, the state becomes the main actor in the international law, in the public international law. Note, however, that is in the area the word state is usually used instead of a country. So instead of a country, the word the state is used over there. State means government, state means country, state means the dignitaries are the community of the, we can better you say the nations, either state or country. We can sometimes, but in the international law, we will say the state. States are the members of the treaty. State is the member of the charter that we will use the word is. And Tanzania is a state, and the Tanzania is a member in the state of the UNO in the many international instruments like India. So public international law also concerns international organizations. Yes, it is all deals about the international organizations such as the United Nations, and the World Trade Organization, WTO. The type of the law establishes rules for the specific subject that affect all human beings. Either the UN or WTO or LAO, it deals about the only about the human beings. That the three principles of the international human rights law should be followed over there. That is liberty and security and good health. These are the norms of it. One should have to follow it. So the type of the established rule of the specific subject that affect all human beings, the environment. Yes, if the factories are more, the environment would be there polluted, either the air or water, even the dust, vibrations. Yes, the sea, even the sea will be what I say polluted, and the commerce and human rights. And here the polluted in the sense it will be have the impact over them. The compliance with these rules is guaranteed by various international institutions. So various international institutions, they say that they should be protected, there would not be human rights violations, and there would not be any environmental pollutions, and the sea, the flora and fauna, and the commerce will not be affected by this international relations, and the human right violation should not be there, because all these protections will be given in the treaty or the charter, where the state is a member of that charter or a treaty. So compliance with these rules are guaranteed various international institutions. For example, the International Court of Justice, the International Criminal Court, it is also there in The Hague in Netherlands, is responsible for the investigating and prosecuting person accused of war crimes and crime against the humanity. So International Criminal Court will deal all the criminal cases, and most of the International Court of Justice, it will deal with the human rights violations between one nation to another nation, or one individual to the nation. So generally, this will be done under it. But in the criminal court, International Criminal Court is responsible for the investigating and prosecuting the person. It is for the war crimes and the crimes against the humanity. And these are the things will be taken by the International Criminal Court. And therefore, the court is interested as a international criminal law. So the International Court, Criminal Court deals with the international criminal law, The tools used in international law are numerous: treaties, conventions, declarations, again, customs, etc. For example, the Kyoto Protocol is an international treaty dealing with the climate change. Of course, Rio de Janeiro also the same, where the climatic change or environmental things which um, the meeting was held over there. Under the protocol, Kyoto Protocol, many countries have committed to reduce the production of the greenhouse gases to protect the environment. So they want to protect it. Gobar gas is there, and the green gas fuel is there, and the environment pollution will not be there. If the pollution is more over there, the ozone layer will be depleted, and ultravirus rays will make a have a great impact, like a pandemic, to the people of the world if the ozone layer is depleted over there, because it will not allow the ultravirus rays coming from the sun. It will object it, it will stop it, and it will filter it, and harmless rays would be passed to the earth and falls on the human beings. Another example is International Conventions on the Right of the Child, that is CRC. And states that have signed the convention must respect what? Respect the conventions which is stated over there. Yes. Respect the rights it confers on children. The children will not be exploited over there. Children should not be used for the pedophiles and for pornography, and child trafficking should not be there, and ensure that these rights are recognized and protected. And the malnutrition should not be there, and a child would be given a free education, and child labor should be banned, and child will not be employed in the hazardous industry, and actually child should not be employed in the other non-hazardous also, because today child is the backbone of the nation tomorrow. So hence, you don't give the child for the money or the clothes or food, but give him the good education. With that good education, he will earn the money, he will earn the food, he will earn the shelter, he can do the miracles. He can do the miracles. If the people are educated over there, they will fight for the rights. So that leads us to talk about a very important principle, that the international law, the state sovereignty is there. Yes, sovereignty should not be again lowered down, and should be maintained as it is, and hence harmonization is a very important factor to see that justice will be prevailed, and that to be the peaceful manner, and the people's security will be there, and there would not be any genocide, there would not be any third world war. According to the principle, a country can freely accept or refuse to sign international treaties. So there would not be any force at all. If a country wants to be a member of a treaty, yes, let them come and forward it and read the articles over there, and if they're satisfied over there with the consent of their president and prime minister and other ministries, they can sign it. A foreign minister, by taking the consent of their respective countries, and they can sign the treaty, and there is no compulsion that they should be made to be a member of the treaty. Other countries can certainly put political or economic pressure on him, but they cannot force him to sign. Suppose some other country would be there, they will want to pressurize it, either politically or economically, but they cannot force him to sign it, because every country is a participants. Every country is a sovereign country. So that was the thing would be there. Public international law aims to define and regulate. Number A, what constitutes the state? Means territory, population, government, and sovereignty. This is about the state. A state definitely have the geographical area. A state definitely have the people to reside over there. They are subjects, and there will be a type of the government, either the parliamentary type of the government or the presidential form of the government. But there should be a government, and there would be a sovereignty also, because generally each nation having their own currency and own military and own running the machinery would be there. And the B, powers of any state. Again, territorial jurisdiction, private jurisdiction, jurisdiction of our public services, even power of the any state on these aspects. C, peaceful relations between the countries. Yes, the country when is there in the world, and you should have a good relations with the neighboring country first. In the case, if you don't call your father as a father, how could you expect that you call father's brother as an uncle or Baba Mudogo in Kiswahili? When a person did not call his father as a father, how could you expect that he will call the father brother Baba Mudogo as Baba Mudogo? We cannot expect it. Hence, each state should have to maintain the peace with the other state, especially for the neighboring state, and extend to the other states also, because state where the exports and imports are there, state where the liberalization is there, where the globalization is there, and a lot of revenue would comes in the form of the tourism, and in the form of the people are visiting the country, and they spend the money, and the lot of currency would be there, foreign currency that will accumulate it if you have the good relations with the other state, and where the people will migrate from one country to another country, the flow of the money would be there, and GDP also will be increased. So peaceful relationship between the countries should be maintained. There is a C. There is a prohibition of the use of the force in the international relations. So there is no force, no compulsion would be there. And the D point is international relations and cooperation between the countries, because it allows the peaceful relations to be established and supervised. Whatever the thing would be there, even it main target is, main aim is, there should be a liberty, there should be a freedom, and the peaceful living, and social security, and a healthy environment on the planet. That is all the motto of it, that everybody should feel happy and lead the life in comfortably, not in the form of war, because in the war it is the from the both the sides. If you won or if you lose also, it is a disaster, and economic conditions are lowered down, and the GDP will be lowered down, and there will not be growth, developmental activity a state could undertake it, because it will spend a lot of amount in the defense only, in purchasing the ammunition and the purchasing the new automatic weapons to target the other country, even they are also human beings. But the power consciousness is a very dangerous, very toxic, and it is a highly intoxicated thing. Like in Kiswahili, we say Mlevi, the power conscious will say it. So that was the thing regarding the concept, regarding the international law, regarding the public international law. I believe that still we do have at least 4 to 10 minutes in our hand. Let me see the international private law. That is international private international law. The private international can also be called as the international private law. International private law concerns the relations that exist between the citizens of various countries. Because the cross country would be there, there is a private international law. Take, for example, a couple consisting of an American and a French woman. A constitution of an American and a French woman, they married in France and now live in Quebec. Where is Quebec? If I am not mistaken, it is in Canada. If they want to divorce, it is a rule of private international law that will allow them to know whether a court in the United States or France or Quebec can declare their divorce, and which country can declare the divorce. Because one from the America, another from the French, and they settled in the Quebec, and they married in France and now live in the Quebec. At that instance, which country law will be used over there for the divorce? International private law or the private international law also concerns companies and individuals. Whether which country law would be applied over there, that would be a fact. And there is no hard and fast rule would be there, but the judges use the logical reasoning, and they will see that justice to be done, and it seems to be done. And a person who comes to the court should not go with the empty hands. That is the motto. Which, with the globalization and the internet, there is more trade between the countries. Yes, definitely, because now everything is online. Even the marriages are done in online, but I don't think that online honeymoon would be there. I know that what is meant by honeymoon in Kiswahili. Kiswahili is fungate. There's no fungate online. That might be there, but the fungate is a biological phenomena where the BBC is must, body to body contact is must. That occurs, for the example, when you surf the internet and buy the goods that are being sold by the American companies, and if you have the significant problems with your purchase and decide to sue the company, and international private law rules will apply, because product is manufactured in the America, the person purchased in the online in Tanzania. At that instance, if there any defect would be there, either the design defect or the manufacturing defect or the marketing defect is there, yes, you can sue him, the company in the Tanzania, because the plaintiff is from the Tanzania. At that instance, whatever the properties of that company would be there, that will be seized and the compensation will be made. Or the decision which is made in the Tanzania will be sent to the America, and as a natural obligation, because I told you there are two theories are there. One is a committee theory, another is the obligation theory. But there is no committee, and hence obligation theory will be applied over there, and the judgment will be followed by the American, because justice should be done over there, and no one can enrich himself at the cost of the others. That is the equity principles. And I believe that now still at least 5 to 10 minutes, 5 minutes are there, it seems. If any questions would be there, you can ask it. If not, I will read this one, then we will wind up. There is no such a code of the public international law, and no hierarchy between the different sources, whether written or unwritten. Because in the public international law, except the treaties, conventions, protocols, and declarations, and without it, there would not be any code is there. A code would be there, like we have the Tanzania penal code will be followed in Tanzania, and the law of evidence will be followed in the territorial jurisdiction of the Tanzania, and there is no such a public international law code is there. It may be one consequence of the absence of others, of a well-established international legal order, even though the United Nations (UNA) is a ambiguous in the world conflicts. Sometimes we will get the confused over there in the agencies, either special agencies or the UN. It may be difficult to deal the world conflicts in certain areas, but they try to make it out, because without UN, without human rights protection, the world becomes bizarre. It became a barbaric world, and where the right is becoming a might, and hence such a treaties and organizations and thing is must for that one. So with this, I would like to stop my lecture, and we'll see the next class. Up to conflicts that they deal. The various sources of international law are mentioned in the Article 38. We'll see it later. So thank you very much for your patient listening, and I will close my today's class, and we'll see it tomorrow. Bye. Have a good day.